The night was cold in New York City. Streetlights flickered against the misty air as a man hunched over a food cart, wrapping himself tighter in a torn jacket. His name was Eddie, but everyone around here just called him Burger Man. He wasn't famous, he wasn't wealthy, and he had no political power. He was simply a man who sold burgers to survive. But what people didn't see was the story behind his tired eyes. Eddie had once been a promising student. He dreamed of becoming an architect, but life had dealt him hard blows. His father passed away when he was young. His mother worked 2 jobs. College became impossible to afford. So he worked, long hours, burning hands, aching feet, just to keep food on the table. Every night, Eddie told himself the same thing: stay disciplined. Stay loyal to your dream. Even if the world forgets you, don't forget yourself. Yet deep inside, he wondered, was resilience really worth it when the world seemed blind to your effort? One winter evening, when the winds howled down Fifth Avenue, a black SUV stopped near Eddie's cart. Out stepped a man that everyone recognized instantly. Donald Trump. The former president, business mogul, and billionaire didn't seem like the kind of person who would pause at a lonely food cart. Yet here he was, his coat collar, but discipline whispered, keep going. Stay consistent. Winners don't rise overnight, they rise every morning. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about rising every time you fall, dusting yourself off, and learning from the bruises. Months later, Eddie's cart wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. College kids, taxi drivers, and office workers lined up for his food. What made the difference wasn't just the burgers, it was Eddie's attitude. He treated every customer with respect. He gave free meals to those who couldn't afford one. He spoke words of encouragement to young kids who reminded him of his younger self. That's when Trump appeared again, unannounced, one spring afternoon. Looks like you're doing well, Trump said, looking at the long line of customers. Eddie smiled. Trying my best, sir. Trump nodded. That's what leadership is. Not telling people what to do, but showing them what's possible. Those words lit a fire in Eddie's soul. He realized that courage isn't always about fighting battles or standing on a stage. Sometimes, courage is serving others with dignity when nobody expects it. Leadership begins in the small things, showing up, caring, setting an example. Eddie never forgot his dream of becoming an architect. With the money he was now earning, he started saving, not just for himself, but to fund night classes. Slowly, brick by brick, he built his education back. The road was long. He studied until midnight after working all day. He failed some exams. But every failure taught him something valuable. And that's the ultimate truth: education is not about perfection. It's about growth. Eddie discovered that knowledge multiplies your opportunities. The more you learn, the more you earn, not just in money, but in wisdom, influence, and impact. Years passed. Eddie's cart became a small diner. That diner grew into a franchise. And Eddie, once just the burger man, was now an entrepreneur, an employer, and a mentor. But he never forgot where he came from. He hired struggling youth, teaching them discipline and work ethic. He created scholarships for students who couldn't afford college. And he always kept a tradition alive, giving free burgers to anyone who was hungry, no questions asked. One day, standing at his bustling diner, Eddie thought back to that cold night when Trump handed food to a homeless veteran. That single act of generosity had ignited a chain reaction, proof that one moment of compassion can transform a life forever. Eddie's journey reminds us that loyalty, sacrifice, discipline, resilience, courage, and education are not abstract ideas. They are choices, daily habits, that turn ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. You may not have millions in the bank. You may not have a stage or a spotlight. But you have something greater, the power to grow, to give, and to lead. Never underestimate the impact of one act of kindness. Never underestimate the strength of consistency. And never, ever forget, your story is still being written. So if you're feeling stuck today, remember Eddie, the burger man who turned pain into purpose. Remember that the fire of resilience lives inside you. And remember that leadership begins with a simple decision: to rise, to give, and to grow. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. Hit that like button to support more powerful stories like this. Leave a comment below with the life lesson you'll carry forward. And most importantly, subscribe for more stories that will fuel your journey toward success, leadership, and purpose. Because together, we're not just telling stories, we're building futures.